Have you noticed how you can be exhausted and still say yes? How you can want to be alone and still feel guilty for it? How the word no gets stuck in your throat even when your body is begging for a pause? You tell yourself, it's not a big deal. It'll only take a minute. They need me. And somehow your time, your energy, your limits become negotiable. Ever realized how you apologize for resting? For not replying fast enough? For not being available? For not being useful in that moment? It's strange, isn't it? You can be overwhelmed but still feel selfish for stopping. You can be drained but still feel responsible for everyone else's comfort. And maybe you've asked yourself this before quietly. Why do I feel bad for choosing myself? Why does helping feel like an obligation instead of a choice? Why does saying no feel like I'm doing something wrong, even when I'm doing nothing wrong? What if that guilt isn't about kindness at all? What if it's about something much deeper that learned long ago that being needed meant being safe? We'll come back to that. At work, you stay late even when you're exhausted. Not because you're asked, but because you feel uncomfortable leaving. You rewrite the message 3 times before saying you can't help. And even then you add, sorry, just this once. I'll make it up to you. With family, you listen, you mediate, you absorb the tension. You become the one who understands everyone. The one who doesn't want to create problems. The one who carries the emotional weight so others don't have to. With friends, you cancel your own plans to be available. You give advice when you're empty. You show up when you're tired. And when you finally need space, you feel the urge to justify it. To explain. To prove you're not being cold, lazy, or distant. In relationships, you sense it even more. You hold back your needs so you won't be too much. You adapt, you adjust, you wait. And when you think about choosing yourself, a quiet tension appears. What if they're disappointed? What if they think I don't care? What if I become the problem? So you keep being helpful, available, reliable, even when something inside you wants to stop, to rest, to step back. And the strange part is, you're not doing this for praise. You're not even sure you want to. Yet the discomfort of saying no feels heavier than the cost of saying yes. From a psychological point of view, this isn't just a habit. It's an identity that was built. At some point, being good became being useful. Being loved became being needed. Being safe became being the one who doesn't cause trouble, who doesn't demand, who doesn't say no. So the psyche learns a quiet equation. If I am available, I belong. If I am helpful, I am accepted. If I take care of others, I earn my place. Over time, this stops being something you do and becomes something you are. You are the one who adapts, the one who understands, the one who carries more than you should. And guilt appears not as a flaw, but as a mechanism, a signal that activates whenever you move away from this role, not to punish you, but to pull you back into it. In this sense, guilt works like an internal guard. It protects a structure that once kept you connected, included, maybe even loved. It says, careful. If you stop giving, you might stop being wanted. So the problem is not that you don't know how to say no. It's that somewhere, saying no started to feel like risking your right to exist in the bond. So when you feel that familiar weight in your chest before saying no, when you start explaining yourself too much, when rest feels undeserved and distance feels like betrayal, maybe it's not about kindness. Maybe it's about a story your psyche learned long ago, that your place in the world is conditional, that your value lives in what you provide, that love is something you maintain by effort. And the question quietly returns, deeper than before. Are you helping because you choose to, or because a part of you still believes that without being needed, you might not be allowed to stay? Because if your sense of belonging was built on usefulness, then stopping doesn't just feel like rest, feels like disappearance. And maybe that's why the simple act of saying no can feel so heavy, as if you weren't just refusing a request, but testing whether you're still allowed to exist without earning your place.